Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Happy 2021. I feel like it's been forever since I filmed. I think the last video I posted was the week of Christmas, so I was taking a little break off, but I'm back. And I think for this first video of the new year, I'm just going to do a simple, like, everyday kind of makeup tutorial. This is kind of geared towards, like, you know, if you're a college student or high school student who's, like, thinking about having to wear like a professional like makeup look for an internship or a clinical, like I got you, that's what this makeup look is for. So if you're interested in that, keep on watching. So I'm gonna start out with skin protection. I'm gonna use my Kinship sunscreen. It has probiotics in it also to help nourish your skin and protect it from pollution and all that kind of junk as well. Don't forget your neck, because if you have beautiful skin when you're 50 and your neck is all wrinkly and sun damaged, that's not going to be a cute look. Okay, so for my face product, I'm going to go in with the It Cosmetics CC cream. It's your skin but better. It's pretty like medium coverage. Like for a CC cream, it kind of has a lot of coverage. And it's kind of thick too, like it's not like watery or like running around my hand or anything like that. So I'm just gonna put that on with a beauty blender. And you can just see like right away that covers like my blemishes pretty well. I would prefer like for work, like for being in a professional setting, like internships and stuff like that, to use this over a foundation, just because this doesn't feel as heavy and cakey on my skin. So I would feel like more comfortable being in it all day long. But if you prefer to be wearing your full coverage foundation, like go off, you know, you do you. I think that's still totally appropriate. Okay, and then just to brighten everything up, to make you look a little bit more alive, I'm going to use my ColourPop Pretty Fresh Concealer. And I'm just going to use a little bit of it because this doesn't have to be like full glam, you know? Like just for going to the office. So I'm just going to use a couple dots under my eyes and then just a couple dots on my nose, my forehead, my chin. Oh, and then my Cupid's bow. I always forget my Cupid's bow, and then it looks like I have a mustache on because my Cupid's bow is darker. Anyway, I'm just gonna bounce it in with my beauty blender. I'm going to powder with this number 7 translucent powder, and I'm just going to powder over the parts that I highlighted. I'm going to take some onto my beauty blender and then just rub it in a little bit on the back of my hand and then stamp it on. And this just keeps it so that there's not so much powder sitting on your face, because you rubbed a little bit off on the back of your hand, you like worked it into the sponge, so it's not like a ton of powder sitting on your face. And just to give my face a little bit of shape, I'm gonna use this cream contour from the Mighty Contour, and I'm going to put it on with my finger. Just do a line straight from the bottom of my ear out to like there. And I'll put a little bit up here as well, because remember we didn't powder those parts of our face yet, so we can still use a cream product right on there. And then I'm just going to also blend that in with my beauty blender. And now I'm just gonna take my powder brush and use the rest of the powder that I dumped into here and just powder over my whole face. And this translucent powder is very light. It doesn't feel like dense and powdery, so that's kind of why I went with this one for this video, because it's just a very, very light option. So now I'm going to take this little face trio. It's the Zoeva Basic Moment palette. And I'm going to take this Eco Tools bronzing brush, and I'm going to dip into the blush shade. And I'm just going to do a little bit of that on my cheeks. This is a very pretty subtle, like, winter pink type of bronzer. So I think it's good for this look. I think I said Zoella, but I meant to say Zoeva. Not Zoella, it's a Zoeva palette. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of this unfinished contour shade on my Morphe M143 brush. And I'm just going to dust a little tiny bit of that kind of at the very back pocket of my contour. And a little bit on the sides of my face here. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit on my jaw. So to keep things like light and natural, the two palettes I'm going to use are this Undone Beauty palette. This one is $14 from Target, and it's just a bunch of little shimmery shades. This one over here is the only matte shade in this whole little palette. And then I'm also going to use the Kylie Jenner Bronze palette. It's a very nice kind of neutral bronzy palette. And so I'm gonna start off by putting an eyeshadow primer on. I'm going to use this Milani eyeshadow primer. And this one's a little liquidy. You just squeeze a little bit out onto your finger. And then I just kind of pat my fingers together and put a little bit on both of my eyes. And then you leave it on for 30 seconds to dry. So while I'm giving that the 30 seconds to dry, I'm gonna do my brows. And I just use the Glossier Boy Brow in the shade Brown. I believe it's just called Brown anyway. And this is getting kind of old. I need to get a new one. Or Morphe also makes these, so maybe I'll try like in the new Morphe 2 collection. So I might try the Morphe one instead of going back to Glossier. So I'm gonna go right in for my eyes. I'm going to take this Morphe M505 fluffy brush, and I'm going to take this color Tiger Eye from the bronze palette, and I'm just going to put that all in my crease. Just kind of like stamp it in first, and then I'll go back and blend it out. And this eyeshadow base is really tacky, so you can tell like the shadow's like sticking to it. And then I'm gonna take this Morphe M146 brush, and I'm just going to blend that out. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of bronzite from this palette as well. I'm going to use this first Morphe brush that I used and just put a little bit of it right in like the outer corner here. And then I will go ahead and blend that in lightly. And then I'm just gonna take this Morphe M461 or whatever I said it was called, and just blend that out a little bit more. This blending brush, it kind of gets rid of a little bit of the pigment. So if you really want to like diffuse something out into like a barely there kind of look, this is a great brush to use. And so you can see right there what we did is there's like a light wash of color. My eyes are defined, but it's not like in your face that I'm wearing a lot of eyeshadow. So that's kind of what I was going for there. I'm gonna take this flat Morphe shader brush, and I'm just going to take Citrine from this Kylie palette, and I'm gonna put that on my lid. And I'm gonna go ahead and take this Morphe brush again and just blend it out just a little bit. And then I want to go for a little bit of shimmer, so I'm going to take this Undone Beauty palette that I mentioned before, and I'm going to take this white shade here to use on my inner corner. I'm going to use this little Ego Tools brush. Ooh, I picked up a lot. This is just going to tap a little bit of that in my inner corner. That just kind of makes you look nice and awake and approachable. And we're going to do a little bit of shimmer on the eye as well. So I'm going to take this flat shader brush again, and I'm going to go for this more gold shade that's next to the one I just dipped into. And take a little bit of that and just put it on my lid. And what I like about this palette is if you use it with a brush that way, it's kind of like a barely there, you know, glow from within kind of shimmer. But if you use it with a liner brush and put it on as an eyeliner, it comes out so much more pigmented. So it's a really versatile little palette. And now I'm going to go ahead and do the under eye. So I'm just going to take Tiger's Eye from the Kylie palette. And I'm going to take this brush that I used for the inner corner highlight. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of that on my lower lash line. Okay, so moving on to mascara, I'm going to use my new favorite mascara, the Origins Ginseng Mascara. If you saw on my Instagram story, I talked about this the other day, and it's in my eyes highlight as well. It's very pretty, very feathery, but it's not like too in your face and clumpy or anything like that. And I'm not gonna add any highlight to this look just because I don't want it to be like too gaudy, since I'm going more for kind of like an office like work type look. But I am going to do a lip liner. I'm going to use this ColourPop Lippy Pencil. All my lip liners are broken, like, can we catch a break here? Moving on, I guess. I'm gonna use this Maybelline Color Sensational lip liner. Okay. So basically the idea for what I'm doing for the lips here is just using a lip liner that's pretty close to my actual lip color, and then just putting a clear gloss over top of it. And what I'm going to put on top is the Morphe 2 Glassified Lip Oil. This is in the color Be Kind. Really like this lip oil, like highly recommend this. I mean, it's hard to tell because it's still like figuring itself out in here, but I think I'm like halfway done with this, and I want to go buy more of them. Like, I really like that one. This is the Make It Last Milani setting spray, and I'm just gonna go ahead and use this quickly. The mist on this is really fine, so I highly recommend it if you're looking for something that's not gonna leave you with like water splotches on your face. And this is from the drugstore. It was literally like 10 bucks. Okay, so I'm gonna go style this like I'm going to the office, and I'll be right back. I'm back. So as you can see, this look is super simple, and it still makes you look put together. It makes you look awake, like you put in effort and time in the morning. So this is kind of like a go-to for me if I have like a job interview or something. This is kind of like how I would do my makeup. So let me know what you guys think of it. I would love to hear what kind of products you guys would typically use for like a job interview or a professional setting or something like that. And I will see you on the next one. Bye!